if that's cool with you. We'll start with Jamie.
Me, Jamie?
No, Jamie Rapavy. I'm sorry. We'll go Jamie and then Jamie. I'm sorry, I forgot we have two Jamies.
That's okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Jamie with Devoted Columbus. Previously Columbus Bride and Groom. So we're the matchmakers in the wedding industry locally in Columbus. So we match all of you wonderful wedding pros to our lovely engaged couples.
Yes, and I think I know almost everyone here, but if you don't know me, I'm Tammy Hudson, and I'm with Engaged Columbus and Engaged Pro Video. As a lot of you guys already know about me, I used to, many lifetimes ago, be a venue manager at Cosign. So obviously reception sites are always and always has been and always will be very, very near and dear to my heart. And we just started this group, Jamie and I, for reception sites only. We obviously already have Facebook groups for all wedding vendors, but I truly feel like reception sites is kind of a whole other avenue, a whole other thing. And if there's one, and I shouldn't, say if there's one vendor category that's struggling, or it's you guys, because I know everybody's struggling, but I feel like venues have a different kind of struggle going on right now. And hopefully the group I created on Facebook, as well as this meeting, could maybe help us network and get together, come up with solutions, find out ideas, just kind of, put ourselves out there so that we realize that we're not alone in what's going on. And if anything, just have each other to kind of bounce ideas off of and just get to know each other. So anyways, welcome everybody. Jamie Morphy, who will always be Jamie Morphy to me, who's now Jamie Butcher. So
I was Jamie Morphy, but I got married a year and a half ago. I'm Jamie Butcher now. I'm the wedding sales manager at Nationwide Hotel and Conference Center. We're up in Lewis Center, off 23 and 750. We have a hotel and 3 wedding venues here.
Yay, awesome. Thank you. How about Lauren? Oh, I don't hear you, Lauren. Go down to the bottom left hand where it says mute or unmute. Oh, we lost her. Oh, no, she's here. I'm sorry. Oh, because Nicole's coming back. Lauren? Nope, not yet. All right. Oh, she's getting her microphone on right now. Lauren, we'll come back to you. Sarah with Combustion.
Hi.
Hey,
yes.
Sarah.
Hi, I'm the owner of Combustion Brewery and Tap Room, and we have an event space on our second floor. So we're trying to figure out how to still sell beer and obviously have the venue closed upstairs, which you all can relate to.
Are you in Pickerington?
We are.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I know. I have a friend, yep. Samantha Frost. You may or may not know Sam,
yep.
but she's very.
Oh no, I absolutely know Sam.
She actually used to work with me at COSI, but she's very local when it comes to Pickerington. I know she loves you guys a lot.
Yep.
So, yeah.
She does. She's awesome.
Thank you. All right, Elizabeth, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Smith. My husband and I own Wren Farm, which is out in Champaign County, about 30 minutes west of Columbus, located in Mechanicsburg. So awesome. We have a barn venue out here.
Awesome.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for being here. Hey, Leah.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yep, I hear ya.
I'm Leah, and I'm with Jorgensen Farms in Westerville area, and happy to join. Hello.
Hey, how are ya? Awesome. All right. How about Todd?
Todd Michael, my wife Jill and I own Pretty Prairie Farm. It's a wedding and reception venue south of Urbana in Champaign County.
Oh, good. Not too far from me. All right. Nicole, the new mama Nicole. Oh, unmute yourself. Bottom left.
I'm Nicole Ewing. I work at the Fawcett Center. which is located on Ohio State's campus. And I just came back from maternity leave yesterday, so I'm trying to figure out what's going on in the world.
So by come back, are you still working from home?
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, good. Awesome. How about my friends down at the Mercantile?
Hi, Tammy. It's Barb and
Hey.
Dan from the Mercantile.
Hey guys, thanks for being here. We've got 3 barn venues here. Oh wait, and Jorgensen. Leah, did you say you're with Jorgensen now?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Sorry, yeah.
It just hit me. I'm like, wait, she said Jorgensen. That's awesome. So good. It's nice to know what movement there is and that sort of thing. All right, Laura.
Yeah, I forgot to say that I guess I don't own Jorgensen like everyone else kind of, I feel like, owns their venue. I'm just one of the event coordinators there, so.
No, that's important. That's awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks for being here. I see somebody else popping on, but Lauren, were you able to get your microphone going? Oh, no. All right. Just pop on when you can, Lauren. She just sent a message saying that the microphone isn't working, but we'll get it set up. Go ahead and introduce yourself on the group chat, and then we'll know what venue you're with. And I see Joy Meyer coming on, and we'll have her introduce herself when she comes up. Perfect. So
yeah, I'm on. Can you hear me?
Oh, I hear Joy. I don't see her. How are you, Joy?
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome. What venue are you with?
I'm the owner of So Serene.
Oh, great. We've got a lot of awesome venues then. Perfect. Good deal. Well, thank you guys. Again, thank you everyone for coming to our first ever Columbus or C-Bus Venue Pros group. If you haven't joined the Facebook group yet, please do. Hopefully we can continue the conversation on there. I'm recording this now, so if everyone is okay with it, I may just post it there. So if there are any other venues who won't be able to make it and maybe can watch this, they can maybe get some ideas or anything else. But one of the questions I posted yesterday is, when is your next wedding? And I'm seeing a lot of mid-Junes. Is that pretty much the consensus, that most venues are kind of postponing till? Or does anybody have any other dates?
I have June 5th and 6th.
2 for June 6th?
June 5th and 6th.
Oh, June
I know.
6th. Wow. So are you kind of holding your breath with those, Jamie, or do you think they're going to happen?
I don't know. I'm holding my breath and praying for the best. And we don't have a lot of dates for them to move to for Saturdays. It's so heartbreaking. So it's hard for them to digest that as well. They're being really hopeful. They're smaller weddings, so hopefully we'll see what happens, or else we can move them to another time. But with we have one every single weekend. A lot of them moved, but at least one wedding every weekend is holding out.
Wow. How about everybody else? Anybody any sooner than June 5th or 6th?
Well, I have May the 30th. She's still hanging in there, hoping.
Oh, wow. Is that a big
and May the 23rd, just actually today, just moved to 21. So she was holding out too. But May 30th is thinking that maybe she'll just have the ceremony, a small ceremony, and then do her reception in October.
That's awesome. That's good.
And then June 6th, she's a nurse, and she said, I'm going forward with it, Joy, no matter what. So I don't know.
So I have a question, Joy, for you.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we're trying to figure out, not only is, are we going to be allowed to have these large events, but is our staff comfortable working, and are we comfortable with asking our staff to work as well? So I'm just wondering how you guys are managing that, Joy.
Yeah. Well, even myself, I'm not totally comfortable with it. Now, my staff, everybody's volunteer. They're all older couples. They choose how many weddings they want to work. So they're all telling me, oh, no, we're in. We're not worried about it. And I said, well, I want you to wear masks, and I want you to wear gloves and that sort of stuff. But I'm telling, I've got several brides that have said, we're going forward and we want to have, he's just saying, he's not demanding that it's 10 or less. And I'm like, no. Now I can lose my business license. We're sticking with exactly what DeWine says. We're not going over that number, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some brides are like, I want to go ahead with the 200 because, I'm like, no, we're not doing that. But anyway, yeah, I tried to get all those soap dispensers and hand sanitizers. Everybody's out. I just got 6 of them finally, and they're about the size of 6 inches tall. So anyway, I'm gonna sit those around and.
Wow. That was actually one of the questions I was curious about, but sounds like a good segue. Joy mentioned putting out extra hand sanitizer and that sort of thing. What other steps have you guys done as venues to reassure your brides of theirs and their guest safeties, like things that maybe you didn't do before, like the sanitizer and maybe staff wearing gloves and masks? Are there anything that or can you share some of the things that you're implementing to kind of reassure them of their safety?
I'm recommending that they do seating charts where most brides don't. And that way you can put households together, you can isolate, grandparents or people who are versus a free-for-all, and then people end up sitting next to people they've never met before. That you can avoid.
That's a great idea.
That's a great idea.
Do you mind if I write a blog off of this content? This is really good stuff. So I like the hand sanitizer everywhere. That's just showing that you as a venue do care and that you are aware of what's going on. I love that isolated seating chart. I would have never thought of that. That's fantastic. What other things do we have going on? I know a lot of times catering staff wears gloves anyways, but that would be something that maybe that's something you never advertised before, but something you might want to just let them know now, that only makes you look better,
And I think too, if couples, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say our couples typically do a buffet style dinner. And so I've been wondering if we should try and move away from that and try and do plated dinners, which is for our venue is very hard to orchestrate and pull off in a timely fashion. We don't have a proper catering kitchen. We exclusively use outside caterers. So I don't know how that would work with our venue. I'm trying to wrap my brain around that, but I'm wondering if that is going to become the new norm, or if we need to have some sort of like sneeze guard or whatever it is, if we are going to be setting up a buffet. I'm sure there's going to be some sorts of guidelines put out for those sorts of things.
So for buffets, we're starting to have where they're not going through it. The guests will not be going through the buffet at all. Well, they go through it, but it'll be like we're doing isolated families going through or a small amounts, but the chef will be serving everything. So they're not touching it. We're not going to be doing, we're going to be tray passing hors d'oeuvres instead of displays. And we'll be handing it to each guest with like the proper safety precautions, so everyone feels safe on both ends, from the staff to the guests.
I love that, Jamie. Good hors d'oeuvres. I like that. Buffet. I like that.
See what I'm wondering in my venue, So Serene, we're an outdoor venue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so everything is outside except we have the one building inside that they usually put the cake and stuff in. So I'm going to try to get away from having anything happening inside the building at all. Have everything moved to the outside, but like we let them bring in their own caterers here. Also, we don't have a full service kitchen either. So I know a lot of caterers around here, they have a lot of staff that don't want to do this. They don't want to work with this virus. So I'm wondering if with the buffet, not getting rid of the buffet, if we couldn't do a thing where you actually had the X on the floor, and like, yes, I understand like a whole family could go through, but then, so many 6 feet apart, there's that far apart going in to get their food. I don't know that we're going to be able to get away with doing away with the buffet here. We have some plated too, but not most of the time.
Well, I think that's a great idea that Nationwide is doing, that maybe having staff, rather than help yourself at the buffet, having, specific staff serving it up. That might be one of those options, that if you can't get away from buffet, maybe doing that. And these are really great things to list to your brides ahead of time, or just to reassure them, just, you know, for their safety and their guest safety. These are all great things. And I please, you guys, if you have any other ideas, feel free to share them on the website or on the Facebook group, because I think this is all stuff that would definitely help, you know, great ideas, things that'll help each other. And more importantly, as long as you get it out to your brides and grooms ahead of time, they know that you're being proactive and you're doing your part in all of this. So no, I think that's awesome. Any other ideas on how we can kind of help them stay safer, or you know, let them know what you're doing to keep them safe?
Yeah, I mean, we're thinking the same thing. I mean, we don't have a kitchen, and everyone, you know, has buffet lines, and so we were thinking have the buffet line behind the row of tables, have the staff make the plates, hand them out, and the staff has masks on, so the people are just, it's just a matter of keeping them spaced out, and then they're just taking it, so there's no interaction between each other, and the staff is protected. I mean, FDA says that it's you know, food really is a very, very, very unlikely transmission of the virus. I mean, they say, you know, don't need to wash off your groceries and all that kind of stuff. There's still a slight chance, and people are sensitive, so that would help relieve some people who would be worried that someone else could cough on their food in the buffet line.
Right. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how dancing happens.
Yeah.
I know. Spread out, everyone.
Yeah.
Spread out.
Anyone,
Maybe X's on the floor. Who knows?
this is Elizabeth. I was going to say, has anyone, we've taught, again, our first event right now is currently June 6th. We postponed all our March and April, April and May. But the few brides that I still have that are, you know, still hoping for their June weddings, I've discouraged that, or I've encouraged them to kind of consider whittling down their list, which, you know, is difficult because many of them have booked our venue because it holds 200 people. I wondered if anyone has, you know, had those conversations with their brides who maybe aren't really interested in postponing. With us, I just think if they are willing to scale back, we have more opportunity to space people out at the space. Our facility is 2 levels, so we can put people on 2 different levels and create more space between people if they're willing to whittle their guest list. I haven't had very many successful conversations with our couples about that, but I wondered if other venues are.
Yeah, well, at the Mercantile, I've had several conversations with what had been our May brides who have now moved, and our June brides, and suggesting that they're probably going to have no more than 50 people, is what I'm expecting the governor to say through the end of June. I'll be very surprised if it's more than that. And they've asked if they could get a partial refund because they didn't want to pay that full amount and only have 50 people there. And of course, we've said no. Venue price is what the venue price is. We're still providing all of the same services, just for a smaller number of guests. And I'm wondering how any of you guys have dealt with people asking, are they going to get their money back? You know, partial refunds. How's that working?
I had one that was insisting, you know, stating the contract said 300, and, you know, she's not going to be able to have 300. So therefore we're in breach of contract, and we ended up putting it off till, she ended up putting it off till next year. It was a mid-May one, but yeah, she's been the only one that's really, you know, we've given refunds back on the ones we couldn't reschedule because we only had 2 openings, but they filled up right away, and so we're full the whole rest of the summer. And
we don't have any Saturdays available, so most of our people, I think Barb can correct me, have moved to Sundays late in the year, and then we've actually had 3 couples move to 2021. That's when it starts. That's when it starts hitting you financially because there's
Yes.
Yeah, I've had 12. I've had 12 move to 21 already.
Wow.
And I mean, August, September, and even October weddings have already decided to move to 21.
Really?
Yeah, we're not
letting people move in October. That was my big question today. I had a bride call. She's October 24th, and she wants to move to October 21, which is like my prime season. So it's really hard for us. Like, we didn't wanted to know what everyone else is doing. Are you letting someone move 6 months out to a year and a half out?
I am, you know why? And it's killing us financially, but the thing is, she's being proactive. We don't know what's coming. And the other thing is, it's PR too. You know, you get one of these girls mad, and I just rather just do it and keep everybody.
Maybe jump on. I know you got something to say. What Jamie's going to say, I know this is what you're going to say, is she runs a ton of bride groups like Ohio Brides Helping Brides, Savvy Bride Resale Brides, and the brides are talking. Right now, they're talking amongst each other on, you know, vendors who've been flexible, and most vendors have been wonderful, very flexible, but they are putting on blast. And I haven't seen any venues. I think I saw only one DJ, but, you know, they are putting on blast. Oh, you can maybe add more, but yeah, they do talk to each other. You know, my guess is if you were to move somebody from this October, I bet you could fill it with one of the summer brides, because that's still a really popular date. Or maybe an October bride from another venue. I read on The Knot just last week, or maybe earlier this week, that 96% of weddings are still going to happen. They're just postponed, meaning only 4% have actually canceled altogether. Have you guys had any? I know you just mentioned, Todd, that you had someone you had to refund, but have you guys had many that just flat out canceled?
I've had 4. We have 80 weddings a year here, so we do a lot of weddings. We have 80, so it's a bigger, but I had 4 couples decide to fully cancel. They're just getting married in their backyards and not doing any type of reception. I had a father tell me it was ridiculous to reschedule a year out, and the bride was bawling. I felt so bad for her because she still wanted her big day, and like, you plan, and my heart goes out to them, but I think it was mostly parents that made the decision for them, the 4 that did cancel, but a lot of ours have been postponed. Like, we've been moving people to 21 and to later this fall.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw the post I posted, I think yesterday or the day before, but I had written a blog on Engaged Columbus's website about the benefits of Friday and Sunday weddings. And I keep thinking, if the entire wedding industry made a movement on how popular Friday and Sunday weddings were, man, would we be lucky. So I don't know about you guys, I'm still going to keep pushing them, you know what I mean? Because wouldn't our problems be solved if they would just have Friday and Sunday weddings, you know? Brunch weddings are the best. Think of all these benefits, and please feel free to share that blog with any of your brides, and in hopes of getting them to book a Friday or Sunday, you know, because that would certainly solve a lot of problems, I think. So I'm all for brunch weddings personally, but that's just me. So I wanted to go back to something real quick that somebody had mentioned, and that was having your staff maybe uncomfortable about working, but then also having staff that are comfortable working. And I just want to invite you to maybe post on the vendor group if you guys have staff who are looking for hours, who are willing to, I don't know how flexible it is for your staff for you guys to share staff. Catering staff, at least, you know what I mean? So maybe for those catering, you know, those people who are willing to go out there and put themselves out there and work to kind of offset those who are not really out there, maybe it might be worth saying, hey, if you guys need help, I know somebody who's willing to do this, you know, and who've been so just an idea. So anywho, yes. So what was I going to say? So, what about rehoming any weddings? Do you guys work together with other venues to say, you know what, we're booked on this day? Or are you basically like, all right, you're out? I know, Jamie, you guys have a couple other businesses, you know, like the Granville Inn and the Grand Event Center that you guys can kind of move between. But are there any others that you've actually had to help try and find a venue for?
Yeah, we've helped out. I work a lot with the country clubs around here. I actually took a wedding from Wedgwood that they couldn't help out. So we work alongside really well together. And we do work with our sister properties as well with trying to get these brides new homes. So it's, you know, we want to make sure that they're taken care of.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, good. Again, utilize the group. I'm still growing it. I just started it this week, but we've had a lot of new members. The Facebook group, if you do have a bride, you need a rehome, feel free to post it on there, and maybe another venue will see it and say, hey, we've got availability, or I know somebody who does, that sort of thing. So many, many years ago, back in 2001, I had a wedding scheduled in Walt Disney World on September 17th. Well, 9/11 happened, and so my wedding in Walt Disney World was in chaos. And so I feel for these brides right now, because I've been there. It was like, are we going to do it? Are we not? Are we even going to be able to fly? I don't know. And naturally, my guest list went down by 50%. Not because I did anything. It's because 50% of the brides, or 50% of my guests, just didn't feel comfortable traveling after 9/11. And so one thing that I think it was you, Elizabeth, mentioned, that, or one of you mentioned that a lot of these people want all of their guests there. I'm wondering, once these weddings start happening, will 100% of their guests actually RSVP and come? I'm looking at
that's the rationale that the brides who moved to 2021, they're saying, yeah, I agree, it'll be open this summer, we'd be able to, but people aren't going to come. So that's why they put it off a whole year.
That's interesting. Yeah. So even though you might want their guest list to go down a little bit, it might just natural selection fall down. It'll be interesting to see. I don't know. Maybe by the time the wedding comes, people will be dying to get out of their house. But from what I'm looking at, or what I'm seeing on Facebook a lot, is pretty split. A lot of people saying, I'm not ready to leave yet. Let's wait and see what happens. And 50, the other 50% saying, no, I'm ready. Let's go. So maybe it's not 50-50, but you know what I mean. I don't know if every guest would end up coming to those June weddings, so it'll be interesting. And I do want to do a follow-up, Jamie, and for all of you guys who have June weddings, let us know, did everybody show up? It's very interesting. The other thing that happened right after my 9/11 wedding is that it was in Walt Disney World, and so Disney's wonderful with all that stuff. They had nothing in their contract for something like that. If terrorist attacks happen, you know what I mean? So obviously, I'm sure they changed their contract immediately after, and they were really kind. They didn't make me hit my minimum or whatever, because I think they called it like an act of God or something. But how many of you have looked at your contracts and said, we need to make changes? And what changes have they been?
So, I mean,
we're definitely
we've been
going
pretty
to.
flexible.
Yeah.
We understand that this is not something we can control. That's not something they can control.
Yeah.
We're all suffering through this. So, we're just trying to be as flexible as we can and have open conversations with our couples and just work through this in a way that makes sense for everybody. I know I personally would feel bad charging someone for a wedding that could not happen simply because of all the mandates and stuff.
Yeah.
So, it's really hurting us, and it's hurting everybody, but in the end, it just doesn't feel right to us to be charging people for stuff.
That's the thing with a contract. You can put all the clauses and all that to protect yourself, but with social media and just from a personal ethics, it's like,
yeah.
You're going to work with
we
them.
feel the same way. This is a customer service industry, and we feel very confident in our contract, and yes, it gives you some leverage, but it's not leverage that I would ever feel comfortable using in these circumstances.
Sure.
We feel like the ethical response is to do whatever we can. And that's why it's hard, I think. Sure, could we put something in, even tighten up the contract more? Sure, but I don't know that it would have even helped in this situation, because like Sarah said, I don't know that I feel comfortable taking, even though my contract says I can keep the money if they don't go forward with their wedding, I don't feel comfortable doing that. So that's what, especially like you said, when in this social media world and customer service and, talk matters, reviews matter,
Yeah, reviews
That's
are huge. Yeah, we all know reviews are the most important thing. If a second wave hits, and of course this is just an if, but if this isn't resolved by the end of the year, is this something you want to think of for new clients going forward? Like, you know, if this ever happens again, is that anything new you would put into your contract? Like, we'll make every opportunity to change your wedding, but we might not have the date available or whatever, you know. I think most brides get that anyways. I mean, if it's booked, it's booked, but yeah. What else do we have? We have so much stuff. So, oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to say, I don't know if this is true or what all's coming from this, but our insurance man came by yesterday and he said, because I said to him, he's redoing our contract out here. And I said, was there anything in there for us for hardship? And he said, you know, Joy, there's not. But he said, we are working on something because the government is talking about giving insurance companies money for this exact reason. He said, so if the government comes across with money for the insurance companies, we will be able to reimburse you for loss of business. So I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but.
That's good.
Well, yeah, I mean, there are insurance policies for loss of income, you know, doing events.
Yeah, and of course I have that, but of course it doesn't cover the coronavirus.
Not covered loss, though.
Because it's a natural disaster, considered a natural disaster.
Right. We looked at it too, because it's technically, if there's civil regulations, I mean, the government has told us we're not allowed. There's a civil, you know, order, be open for business. But I think it only lasts 6 weeks. And it's typically an endorsement on your policy if you have it. So there are things out there, but, you know, and maybe there'll be something in the future, but we looked pretty hard. I'm an attorney with an insurance company in my traditional job, not our weddings business. And I've looked at it from all angles, and I don't think there's anything, probably even for the most comprehensive insurance policies, that's going to address this.
Yeah.
That's crazy. How many of you had to lay off or furlough some of your staff? I mean, I imagine everybody has somebody, but hopefully the plan is for everybody to get back. I mean, obviously the plan is to get back to where it was, but is there anybody suffering any hardships that we could all rally together, or anything that you know of?
I know here at Nationwide Hotel, I'm one of 4 people left.
Really?
Everyone's on furlough. It's awful.
Oh, geez.
They laid off they furloughed. They didn't, like, everyone's coming back. It's going to be in waves, but they kept, it was like 14 of us, then it went down to 8, then it went down to 6. Now it's 4.
Wow.
And we're hoping to open up our hotel again in May, and we're essential. So I still go into work, and we do other things like front desk, and I'm doing a lot of different jobs and learning a lot of different things like accounting and reservations, and I'm learning things that I never thought I would learn before, which is it's nice to know how to do everything, but it's also heartbreaking to have your coworkers texting you, when are we opening up? When are we coming back to work? It's heartbreaking, and I can't wait for everyone to come back.
Yeah, me too.
I would suggest not using the beach backdrop when you talk to those coworkers.
I know, right?
That's funny. Hey guys, how are you? No, that's hysterical. Are you guys on any other Zooms or groups that has been, really helpful? I know personally for me, and I know Jamie, you were there, and both the Jamies were there. The last Wedding Professionals of Columbus had a Zoom meeting similar to this, and it was awesome. I loved it. It was a lot of fun. But have you guys seen any other groups or have any referrals as far as like podcasts or groups or webinars that you may want to recommend?
The Wedding Wire, the Wedding Pro, I keep forgetting what they're called now, is doing amazing webinars. I've learned so much on what they're doing nationally. to hear like ways that planners are dealing with things in Chicago to New York to Tennessee. So I've been doing those. They've been having them almost weekly that I've seen come through, and I thought that they were fantastic.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I subscribe to them. I usually read the articles, but I haven't been to one of those webinars, but it sounds like I need to. So yeah, good deal. Anyone else? Good deal. So I was, something that just popped up when we were talking about reducing the number of guests at one's wedding, and maybe because guests don't want to come, but we've, at Devoted, have had some people some videographers reach out to let us know that they are offering video services, so that for people who can't be there. So if you guys need any referrals, I think, and I hope they made a free listing on the Devoted website. If not, just call me or Jamie, because I can give you a couple names right off the top of my head of videography companies that are doing like the live stream. So if any of your brides are really bummed about not having all of their guests there, that may be an option. And I've seen it for other events. So obviously it's happening. So yeah, but no, I think that's one of the cool things. I mean, obviously they're still planning, there's, the brides who are already engaged and had been planning are still, most of them are planning. And, even in, they're still going to get engaged, and they're still going to fall in love, and they're still going to get married. So one of the biggest messages I've heard just in some of the the things I've read is just to continue to be out there, don't give up and don't take a break. Not every one of our companies is going to survive this. There are 300 plus venues in Columbus, and unfortunately not all of them are going to make it. And to put yourself ahead of the rest is to just, the lesson I've learned is to just still be out there and still be relevant and still do things like this where we're networking and we're out there and we're learning and we're bettering ourselves. Take advantage of all the free stuff that's out there, just like the webinars and the just the groups. There's tons of groups out there where you could create free listings for your own business. I think like Nextdoor, make sure you're on LinkedIn, Devoted, Columbus, everybody can get a free listing. I know almost all of my farm venues are on Engaged Columbus, but we do have a basic free listing there as well. Wedding Professionals of Columbus. Oh, by the way, shout out to Wedding Professionals of Columbus, whose next meeting is on May 12th. Is that right? Second Tuesday? Okay, May 12th. So it'll be a webinar like, oh yeah, Jamie, you're the speaker. You're the spotlight speaker.
Spotlight.
Yes. So yes, so take advantage of any of those, and on this Zoom group chat, and I could even put those links on the Facebook group, to create your free listings. I know a lot of people aren't spending a ton of money right now, but definitely do the things that work for you. I know for me, and hopefully Jamie and everybody else, video, which is Engage Columbus, is a venue video website. Video is still fantastic way to communicate with your brides, whether it be video testimonies or, just video emails, whatever, doing your frequently asked questions. I feel like the sincerity that we're coming across to our brides right now is more important than ever. Are you guys mainly communicating via phone, email, Zoom? How are you guys working with your brides right now? And by brides, I mean couples. Sorry.
The guys are involved.
What's that, Dan?
I said, you mean the guys are involved?
I know. I try not to be so, brides. It's just naturally what I say. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a lot of phone conversations. A lot of emailing. I email all the girls an update, just letting them know that we're thinking of them, and if they have any questions, to always feel free to reach out to us, and we're happy to work with them. And their wedding is still going to be just as beautiful if it's on a Sunday other than a Saturday, because we've had all of our brides that did take a Sunday, which is the only thing we had open. So we were we were lucky that way.
Awesome.
Other than the 3 that did take the 2021 date, but we moved 6 onto Sundays later in the fall.
That's great. That's good. Yeah.
I have a couple questions. So if a bride is wanting to tour your venue, how are you able to give them tours?
I'm doing virtual tours, and I've actually booked new weddings off of them, which is so great. And I also use my Engaged Columbus video.
Well, I know this is going to sound like a plug, and I definitely don't mean it to be, but one of the new services we offer is our Engage Pro Video, which is an opportunity for you to create your own branded video with your iPhone. And it's like the easiest thing, you know, and if anybody here wants to try it out, just as a COVID special, let me know, and we can definitely just give you like a major discounted price just to try it out, because it is a great way. It is the best way. We all know that, the best way to get, you know, your venue seen. You know, the platform that we use allows us to do video emails. So you'll probably see me come across on email all the time. You'll see my face and you'll see me talking and, or showing off your venue, and the biggest, my favorite thing about all of it is the video testimony. Obviously, there's nothing in this world more effective to get a sale than having somebody else tell you how awesome it was, or how this, you know, these people helped them in some way or another. And so regardless of how you're getting testimonies, make sure, especially for these brides, it sounds like Joy, you're doing all the right things, or you're all doing the right things, is making sure they tell future brides of how awesome you were through all of this, because it's going to be, they sell it for you then, you know. I always, what do they say? Work harder, work smarter, not harder. Yes. So sorry to go off on that, Jamie. What else were you saying? Anybody else doing virtual tours?
We are.
Wow. Good deal.
Yeah, we have a virtual tour link that we send to everybody. We have for the last year and a half since we made it, and then we've done a few FaceTimes, and then they can you're talking and you're walking around and you're pointing things out, and they you know, you have because a lot of these younger brides, they would rather text and email if you gave them a chance.
Oh yeah.
They don't like talking on the phone that much.
Yeah. Laura or Leah, what's going on at Jorgensen?
Yeah, we also created, we had actually a videographer come out and do both spaces, the barn and Oak Grove. So we're still taking inquiries via email, and then still like chatting with them, and then sending the links, and then having them kind of call us to get more of the details about what's in the packages and the pricing. So at least that we could still have the conversation with them about what's all included, instead of just like, here you go type of thing. But I also kind of had a question. When do you guys think you'll start offering in-person tours? Because that's what we're kind of thinking about now. It's like, well, now that we don't have anything in May, that we can be doing lots of tours, but is it safe? Is it, you know, type of thing?
We're starting May 9th. I already have 5 scheduled that day. I'm like, I'm starting. I was like, we gotta go.
Yeah.
We're setting up all of our event spaces like weddings, and I'm like, tours. I'm like, we weren't gonna do like May 2nd, or because that's like right after when this hopefully it'll be opening up, but I'm like, we got it. I mean, I know you, Jorgensen, you do a ton of tours. I know, because you know, you want to get them in.
Yeah. I mean, we allow tours like really 9 to 5, like during the week, and then we have different time slots for the weekend. We typically do from 9 a.m. until like 12, or usually 8 a.m. actually until 12, and then our event happens, you know, they get rental at 1. So, but now, like I said, with most of May, there's nothing, so we'll have like all day to give tours. But and I know we're trying to do as soon as we can, so May 9th sounds pretty reasonable.
Good deal. Are you planning on doing tours with masks and gloves on?
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
Yeah. As I say, I would imagine we talked about having masks for our servers and stuff the other day, so I would imagine our tours would consume of that as well.
It depends on the
My
space
DM would let me do them.
and the comfort level too. I mean, because the masks, I mean, the masks are to be used if you're in a public space that it's likely that you may come within 6 feet of somebody. Well, it's easy to walk and talk 10, 12 feet apart in a space. So it's like, unless they feel uncomfortable.
Yeah,
you know.
and I mean, most tours, I feel there's only like 4 of them, you know, bride, groom, mom, parents, not too many people. So, you know, yeah, there's not like 15 people coming to one tour slot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're close together already because they're in the same household. So
yeah,
it'll be so awkward without the nice to meet you shakes and hugs or whatever.
Yeah.
It'll be so different. Elbow bump.
yeah, I don't get the elbow thing because then you rub your clothes and you put them on your table. I mean, it's like then you gotta go wash your elbows when you get home. It's like just a fist bump and then you can go wash your hands.
Exactly. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, the elbows, you're like, yeah, you're coughing in your elbow and you can't elbow without and still stay 6 feet. So whoever came up with that one.
That's stupid.
Question. Has anyone had a couple call you and say they're scared to have their wedding because all guests will be have to wearing face masks and they feel that guests won't want to come because they're mandating like you to wear face masks out in the public?
We haven't got that far, I don't think.
We haven't heard them say it, but now that the face masks are recommended and the grocery stores are wearing them and asking all their customers to wear them, I think they're probably starting to wonder whether they're going to have to. And
It'll be the new favor.
Right?
I was thinking that. Where can we get face mask favors?
Really good idea.
Branded logos on your face mask. That would be cool. When I took my son to his allergy shot appointment last week, there was a nurse who met us at the door and she's like, here's your mask, here's your, your hand sanitizer, and they wouldn't even let us in without it. So we had to gear up, and I could see that happening in the future.
Branded mask. That's a good idea.
Dan, I noticed that your hand was up. I didn't know if you had a question or not. Dan and Barb?
That was a while ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I only now saw it, so I'm useless. I'm so sorry. I just saw the hand.
I probably hit it by mistake.
She's a button pusher.
Barb, you bad one. So Jamie, did you get that question from a bride?
From a mom.
How'd you respond to that? That's a good question.
It really took me I was like, wow, but it's reality. And she feels that she has a lot of elderly guests coming that they're not going to feel safe. So I'm letting her move the wedding till 21 where she does. But I mean, it is a legit question. Guests are probably going to be wearing face masks, especially in June to the wedding. It's different.
That is different. Oh, did you want
and
to
yet,
say?
if you've got an N95, it's not protecting you; it's protecting the other people. So,
yeah, it's hard to drink a cocktail with a face mask.
Drink enough cocktails, it'll kill it.
I mean, that's a really good point. Eating food, dancing, drinking, all of that.
Yep. Exactly. I bet you nobody's going to be taking off their shoes at the end of this weddings anymore. Flip-flops.
We have to make sure we have this meeting again after some of these COVID weddings, because I would love to hear how they go. Our wedding planning division, we moved 15 weddings and 2 canceled. And our first wedding, we had weddings in March and April that we moved, and we moved May and June. I think our first one is July now. But we still have inquiries, I mean, as you guys do. So brides are still wanting wedding planning, and they're still looking for venues, which is why I asked about Saturdays. I don't think most of the new brides are looking at this year. But for some people, they are looking. So I was just curious. But we do know that if there is anything, we're totally saying 2021. We just don't want even to have to. We're scared some of ours that move to the fall, we're going to have to move again, which would be horrible. But
And
go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that's one of the biggest questions to me is I mean, I assume, you know, I'm hoping there's going to be some more information coming out in the coming weeks about, you know, some guidance for businesses like ours on when we might contemplate opening. Because we feel like, you know, we've put our June brides kind of, you know, on the ice for now, but you know, I know there'll be I guess I'm wondering kind of what's going to come out in the coming weeks. I assume that's what we're all hoping, is that there will be some actual guidance from the governor with respect to size of events. You know, I mean, I think we all probably fall into the mass gathering type of pot.
That's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that there's going to be like a general wedding rule that doesn't necessarily consider the types of venues that some of us have. Yeah. I mean, if you look at the Mercantile, it's built for social distancing. And I know a lot of yours are too. I mean, we have fire pit area, we have a courtyard, we have a beer garden, we have a veranda, we have the barn itself. I mean, it's designed so people can enjoy the event with space. And so that's much different than, you know, maybe traditional weddings that the governor might be picturing, you know. So I'm hoping that there's a little bit of some specific guidelines with respect to space and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, the guidelines should be irrelevant of what the event is. It should, you know, you got distances, you've got contact points, you've got sanitary issues. I mean, it shouldn't make any difference why you're meeting, it's how you meet. So.
Exactly.
Right. I guess I was thinking if they were going to come up with like certain number of people per square footage or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. But.
And I wouldn't be surprised if some people don't come to the wedding and not go to the reception, even though it's on the same facility. I think people who feel, you know, that they're compromised, they want to see their granddaughter's wedding, but that doesn't mean they want to go in and mingle with people. Mm-hmm. So I think there'll be some of that too.
But from the perspective of the venue, you know, owner, operator, you know, if a bride tells us they're having this many people, I guess I'm struggling to kind of figure out what guidance we're going to get. I agree. I absolutely agree. I think a lot of the guidance is going to be, you know, the measures you have to take between events and the space you have to be able to provide, you know, between guests. I mean, and I guess we just have to wait and see. I like Dan, I'm hoping there'll be, well, I don't want it to be too specific because I agree. I don't think you can put us all in the same box. I hope there's some guidance on, you know, what will be required. Just so, I mean, because I think a lot of us are guessing. We're, you know, guessing that June or July might be okay, but it's not clear yet.
Yeah. Or if they say a number like, okay, we can have up to 100 or 150 and your wedding's 200 and it's June. Do you go to the bride and say, oh, you need to cut 50 people off in order to have it? It's just too close. It's too soon. Do you just do it?
Or do you have to count heads? You know, I mean, and hope that some of those people don't only come to the ceremony and not come to the reception. But
yeah, if you got a venue that holds 50 and the limit's 50, well, that's a lot different if you got a venue that holds 300 and you have 50 there. I mean, it's, you know, and I think we'll fall into the same kind of category as church. And so they're going to make something work where churches can meet, I think. I mean, they're not going to go all summer and not. That's why I kind of feel they'll do something. It just may be a density issue like they're doing in grocery stores. Some grocery stores and things.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good questions.
So Todd, where are you?
Right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right now I'm in Florida.
Oh, I'm like jealous of your background and I want to be there.
Since we canceled April and May weddings, we're like, well, we'll just stay here a little longer.
Nice.
Oh.
Very nice. Where in Florida?
Estero. It's just south of Fort Myers.
Okay.
My dad lives there half the year, but he went back to New York.
Oh, why? Why?
I know. Yeah, New York. Well, thank you guys. Hey, I'm going to, unless anyone has any other questions or discussion items, I wanted to try to keep this first one at about an hour to respect everybody's time. Like I mentioned, we had a lot more people RSVP, but this is still a fantastic group. And, you know, I think I've gotten a ton out of it. And if you guys don't mind me sharing some of the ideas we tossed around, especially just with safety things coming up, I'd love to share that with all venues and vendors out there. And yeah, and if you guys can think of anything else, you know, definitely jump on to the CBUS Venue Pros page and feel free to post, ask questions. I definitely want to utilize it for each other, whether it's sharing ideas or, you know, challenges or recipes, whatever you want. I'm good with that. So
Yeah, I went online, I don't know, maybe a month and a half ago and tried to find the hand sanitizers like you have on cruise ships and things where you just walk and they were like $500. So I assumed that was gouging.
yeah,
I assumed they were gouging.
yeah.
Oh,
My husband works for Wasserstrom and he's finding all the products. So if you need it, you need to contact Wasserstrom. He works 12 hours a day finding hand sanitizer, face masks, gloves for the hospitality industry for Columbus. So he finds it for, like he just got Whole Foods 1 million masks. So like it's out there. You can get it.
Good. That's a good, yeah, that's good. All right. Well, thank you guys. If you guys need anything else, you know how to find me. I'm always on Facebook. Find me on the group, or you can always find me at Tammy@engagedcolumbus.com. Thank you guys again. And should we do it again? Maybe in a couple weeks?
After the governor comes out with whatever the new rules are going to be.
That's a good idea. Yeah. And I definitely want to do a follow-up once we do have a couple meetings or a couple weddings, just to see how they went and, you know, what we can all learn. The new ways. You know, it's going to be very interesting, but it sounds like you guys are hanging in there fabulously. And thanks again. Thanks for joining me tonight.
Thank you, Tammy.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
See ya.
Thank you.